Right. We're going to be coming from Isaiah, the 54th chapter. I want you to scroll to the 17th verse. Isaiah 54 and 17. God bless all of the leaders in the house. My assistants, Dr. Blunt, the assistant pastor. Thank God for the assistant to the pastor, Reverend Norrington. Thank God for Reverend Lloyd being with us today, sharing with us. All our deacons, trustees, missionaries, deaconess. Thank you, ushers and members. All right, the word of God from Isaiah chapter 54, verse 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. Every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. You may be seated. I want to talk today about the weapon was forged, but it failed. Why do you cry? He has risen. Why are you weeping? He's not dead. Why do you cry? He has risen. Why are you weeping? He's not dead. He paid it all on that lonely highway, and his anointing I can feel. He shed blood for my transgression, and by his stripes we are healed. Why do you cry? time in your life when you wondered if God was with you? You may have had some concerns due to your circumstances. When you were facing some deep situations, you found yourself embedded with something that you didn't want to be in bed with. Situation caused you to wonder if God was there. I believe that there are at least two people here right now going through something, wondering if God is with you. And I want to give you an update to bring you some relief. The answer to your question is, if you belong to Him, He's still with you. He's right there. He's never left you. And He won't forsake you. And because He is that type of God, I just wonder if anybody want to take some time and give Him just a little bit of praise. Just because He didn't leave you desolate. He's even answering your prayer right now. You were questioning. God said, I got an answer for you. Just get up and go to church. Because you made it today, God's going to give you your answer. Even though some of us have not been faithful to Him, He won't leave us nor forsake us. If you're not being faithful to the Lord even right now, He says, return unto me, and I will restore your joy. I'll give you your peace back. You don't have peace because you left me. But if you turn back to me, I'll give you your peace back. I'll give you your joy back if you turn back to me. You don't have peace because you still come to church, but you still left. Though you sit in the seat, you still left. And though you get up Sunday after Sunday and come and sit on the pew, you still left. And I just want to know if you want to come back to me. And if you come back to me, I will restore your joy, says the Lord. I'm glad He's that type of God that He forgives even those who messed up. He forgives us when we have messed up and followed after unnatural affections. We followed after things that was really debauchery. But God says, I will forgive you. Return to the Lord and He will restore your joy. Not only will He restore your joy, but He will even increase your borders. He will carry you to a higher place, and not only a higher place, but He will give you a better place if you return to the Lord. Weapons are forged against you, but they will fail. In the text, Isaiah the prophet, the mouthpiece of Jehovah Nissi, says to the people of God, he says in the first part of the text that God is going to bless them for returning to Him. You see, God had allowed them to go through what they went through because of their unfaithfulness to Him. They had been in Babylonian bondage. And the reason some of us have found ourselves in bondage because we have been unfaithful to Him. We didn't go where He told us to go. We didn't do what He told us to do. We knew what was right and we still chose wrong. We knew to go to the right and we instead went to the left. He told us to sit down and we stood up. He told us to stand up and we sat down. We went our own way as sheep without a shepherd. We were out there with wolves, and it's only by the grace of God that they didn't consume us. It's only by the grace of God that they didn't kill us. We've been wounded, but we haven't been killed. And aren't you glad that while you was out there, God didn't allow you to die? He didn't let me die in my mess, but He saved me. Aren't you glad He didn't let you die in your mess? You know you're happy. Don't we stand and sit here without church face. We had some mess. We were saved and still had some mess. We were clapping on the choir and still had some mess. Preaching in the pulpit and still had some mess. Aren't you glad God didn't let us die in our mess? I'm glad He didn't let me die in my mess. Found myself in Babylonian bondage. You found yourself in Babylonian bondage, even as these Israelites were in Babylonian bondage. And God caused them to be in that bondage because He knows that when you have trouble long enough, you'll call out to the one who you know can deliver you from the trouble. I don't know about you, but you can try to help from every direction, but sometimes people don't know how to help you. But if you call on the Lord, God will give you just what you need when you need it. Cause them to come back to Him. That bondage caused them to call on His name for help. When we call on the name of the Lord, Jehovah Jireh hears us. He comes and not only hears us, but He forgives us. He forgives Israel and accepted her back into His house for His wife. Isaiah gives them a prophetic word about our Christ. Christ is the one who has brought them back to the Father. Israel, it's Christ that has brought them back. And while some of them have not accepted Him as who He is, Messiah, it's Him who has made the way for them to come back. He's made a way for us to come back when we go astray. Not only has He brought them back to the Father, but He also has increased her children. He's increased the Israelites, the Israelis. He's increased them. The more children, the more she was blessed. In the Old Testament, the more children that were in the house, the more the house was blessed. As many children as they had, it was a sign of them being blessed. In America, we don't have that culture. We want less. The average, if it's still the same, I haven't checked the statistics in a while, but it's 2.5 children. I don't know how you get 2.5, but that's statistics. I guess one is still in the belly. So it's 2.5. So that's what we consider being blessed. But there, the more children they had, the more blessed they were. So God says that He has increased the children. He's blessed them. And so does God bless the church. You see, the church is a representation here. He says to you as a church, I will increase your blessings. He says, so not only will I increase your blessings, but you need to get ready for the blessing to be increased. That means you got to get a bigger tent with longer cords. Because I'm getting ready to bless you in a way that you're going to need some room so that you can put what I'm getting ready to bless you with. I'm going to increase you, but you got to be prepared for the increase. You got to be prepared for what I'm getting ready to do for you. Church, understand this. When we are faithful to God, no matter what we might have gone through, God is going to still bless us and give us an increase for everything that you have to Just got to trust him. Prepare for your increase because it's going to burst forth. Like a flood comes through the floodgates. Prepare for your blessing. Isaiah informs them that some things that they went through, God put them through it, and God is going to cause them to prosper because He allowed them to go through it. He's going to cause them to prosper because He's not going to just allow your enemy to mess with you and not bless you after He's allowed the enemy to mess with you. And not only will He bless you because He allowed the enemy to put you back where you were supposed to be, but then He'll come back and mess with your enemy for messing with you, even though He allowed your enemy to mess with you. Don't tell me what God will do. He'll use your enemy as a tool to put you back on track. That's what He'll do. He informed them that He's going to prosper them. The enemy will not destroy them. The enemy will come against them, but the enemy will not win. And I'm here to tell you today that some of you have had weapons forged against you. They've been forged against you. Some of them have been launched against you. But I'm here to tell you the reason you're here in your right state of mind is because they failed. The weapon was forged, but it failed. I said it failed. God didn't allow it to hurt you. Isaiah tells them like this. He says, no weapon forged against you will succeed. You will refute everyone who tries to accuse you. This is what the Lord will do for His servants. I will vindicate them, says the Lord. Those of you who are true believers in the Lord, understand this. You don't have to be afraid of your enemies. God will protect you. They may be coming against you, and though they may be on every side, they will not be able to hurt you because God says, I will be your protection. The thing about it is, sometimes you have hidden enemies forging weapons against you. It's one thing to see your enemies, but it's another thing when your enemies are camouflaged. They in camouflage. Whatever the surroundings look like, the enemy looks like the surroundings. They are your enemies, but they are camouflaged amongst the friends. God says, even though they are forging a weapon against you, it won't work. Even though some of them have forged a weapon already against you, God says, it's failed. It won't work. God will protect you. Your enemies might be on your job. Anybody ever had an enemy on your job? Some you knew about, some you didn't. Some you found out about and wondered why did they become your enemy. Some of your enemies might even live in your neighborhood. Some of you got that neighbor, that one that always in everybody's business. You put something out, they call the county or the city on you. You put it out for the dump truck to get it, but before the dump truck can get it, they call the county or the city on you so you can get the citation. People will do that, you know. You might even have an enemy in your home. It's one thing to be sleeping with your wife, your husband, simply put, your spouse. But it's another thing to be sleeping with the enemy. You giving the enemy the best love you got. And the whole time, they're trying to hurt you. Somebody say amen, too good. Other thing is, you might even have an enemy in your church. One place you don't want to see an enemy is in church. Some people don't understand what I'm talking about. We don't always agree in the household of faith. We don't always agree. But we should not become enemies with each other because we simply don't agree. If we have the same Father, who is God Jehovah, our big brother Jesus Christ, who is all rooted and mixed up in the Father, the Holy Spirit, who is supposed to be our comforter, our guide. If we have Him, then we should not be enemies with each other. Sometimes you can do all you can to show love to people in the church, and still there'll be someone who will want to be your enemy. You don't want them as an enemy, but they still have become your enemy. You still got your bulletin. Look in the centerfold of your bulletin. Centerfold of your bulletin. This wasn't in the sermon, but I like how the Spirit brought this back to me. It said, brethren, if a man be overtaken in the fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering yourself, lest you also be tempted. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden. Let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall also of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit of God, shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Now this verse right here, this 10th verse right here, is what God has dropped in my spirit for this. It says, as we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith. We all in the same house. We all have the same faith. We should not be enemies with one another. Disagreements should not cause us to be enemies. That's why we have a high divorce rate, because people have disagreements and become enemies even in the same household. And God says, I won't divorce you, but I will let the enemy have his way with you if you don't stop serving idol gods. God says, I'll let them forge something against you, but it still won't work. But I will use it to bring you back unto me. The weapon was forged, but it failed. God will deliver you with the shout. God will deliver you. will be lied on. You will have some people that will try to condemn you, but their lies won't condemn you. They might dig a ditch for you, but the ditch that they dig for you, you walk by and find them in the ditch that they dug for you. The reason this visual just dropped in my spirit, the reason the ditch that they dug for you, they find themselves in, because the deeper they dig the ditch, the deeper they have to go in the ditch. And though they might be digging the ditch for you, something can come and hit them across the head, and they'll find themselves in the same ditch that they dug for you. God won't allow your enemies to leave you in a ditch. Joseph can tell you about that. God will allow you to come out and you'll prosper no matter what is going to happen. God will allow you to step on top even though you were on the bottom. Those that are last shall be first, and those that are first shall be last. God will do this for them that are his servants. He will do it for them that believe and call on the name of the Lord. Some have tried to hurt you, but you're still here. Some have tried to put you away, but you're still here. Some have tried to run you out of the church, but you're still here. Because their weapon was forged, but it did not win. It did not work. It failed. Some have even tried to spiritually kill your character. But don't worry about it. God got a way of giving your character life resuscitation. He got a way of letting your spirit get energized. God has what's known as a defibrillator, a spiritual defibrillator. And you feel like you can't go on. What God will do is he'll come up with the paddles, rub them together, and anything that's around you, he'll say, clear. Hit you with them paddles and bring you back up. I'm glad for the defibrillation of the Lord, that though they thought I was dead, I'm still alive. The weapon was forged, but it didn't work. It failed. Some weapons formed against you, they were formed to cause you hurt and pain. But why you got all this joy today? Why there's the joy bubbling all up on the inside of you? Because it's the Lord that gave you joy, even though some expect you to be sad. People can't understand why sadness hasn't taken you over, why depression hasn't taken you over, why you are down when they have done everything to hurt you. God said, because I am he who lifts you up, I will strengthen you, I will give you increase because you belong to me. Weapon is formed, but it failed. It failed. You have an increase, you have protection, and you have victory because the Lord God Almighty told you that he was going to do it for you. You are delivered from the hands of your enemy. Tell somebody, I'm delivered. I'm delivered. I'm delivered. I was in Babylonian bondage, but I'm delivered. Not every person there was serving an idol god. But because of the majority, the minority had to go with the majority. There always will have to be somebody calling on the name of the Lord. That's why God allows someone who's righteous to go through with the unrighteous, because he has to have somebody who's righteous to call on him when the unrighteous are going through. Because if there's no one righteous that's in the righteousness of the Lord, if there's no one righteous, then who will
in Jacob, the promise. You will be as the stars. You will be as the grain of sand. You will have an increase. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jesus came through the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jesus is the one who delivered Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And because we are the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we too have been delivered because of Jesus, who is the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The weapon was forged even against Christ. And what they thought, they were going to kill him and destroy him. But he told them, you lay the body down, and in 3 days, I'm going to rise up. And in 3 days, the body got up. With all power in his hands. Then not only that, but he tabernacled here on the earth for 40 more days. Went on back. He said, I'm going to send you a comforter. They went up in the upper room, and for 10 days they prayed. But the Bible says on the 10th day, on the day of Pentecost, when Pentecost was fully come, there came a sound from heaven, as of a rushing mighty wind, and filled the room where they were. They all went out speaking in tongues and rejoicing in the Lord. Because the weapon that was forged, it failed. Now we have a right to the tree of life. Jesus Christ, who is the life. He is the way, the truth, and the life. And no man comes unto the Father but by him. Now every time something comes against you, Jesus steps on it. When they try to come against you, Jesus steps on it. Even if the enemy is pulling on you, Jesus steps on it. But what he'll do when you walk away, he'll never take his eye off of you. He sits high and looks low. And he sees you when you don't know he sees you. Most of us have probably been in an airplane before. And if not, you've been in a tall building where you looked out and you can see a whole lot from that tall building. And that's how God is, except his vision is so keen that he sits high and looks low, but he sees exactly who you are. He sees you when you're going off in the wrong direction. And he sees how many enemies are coming against you. He will allow your enemies to even pull on you, take you away, hurt you a little bit, but they will not be able to destroy you. That weapon won't work. Even those who have backslidden from the Lord, God will allow you a moment to get yourself together, and sometimes take you once you get yourself together so that you don't be lost. That's deep, but that's the truth. He's going to catch you while he can, so that you don't be lost. Because if you belong to him, he's going to catch you when you're right in him. God won't let you die if you belong to him without you getting it right in him. If you belong to him, otherwise you must not belong to him. Because if you love the Lord, then you're able to forgive somebody who wronged you. If you cannot forgive them, then you must not know the Lord. So if you are lost, it's because you did not know the Lord. You had acquaintance with him, but you didn't know didn't know it. Because if you know him, you are going to obey his word. He said, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. If you don't know him, then you don't love him. But if you know him, then you love him. And if you love him, then you keep his commandments. And his commandments say, forgive. And if you don't forgive, neither will my Father forgive you. If you love him, then you will forgive. And God will keep you in such a state that he will jack you up and keep putting somebody on your mind that you need to forgive so that you will understand that God loves you and he's going to have you jacked up until you get it right, and then, if need be, he can take you home. But you don't want to leave here without the Lord. Weapons are forged against you every day. The enemy, Satan, as some will call him, he is trying to destroy you on a daily basis. That's why he puts you to sleep in church. Because if you don't get it, you're like, I got him. But when you're able to get that word, you don't let it escape. God can give you strength to make it. He won't let the weapon defeat you. It will be formed, but it will fail. The weapon will be forged, but it will fail. You can't look at what the weapon is doing and think that you are doomed to be lost. You have to understand that I believe the word of God. And then God says that no weapon formed against me shall prosper, then it will not prosper. The only thing I have to make sure is that I'm not trying to commit suicide with a weapon that I forged against myself. You didn't know that you could forge a weapon against yourself? You are able to do your own demise. You're able to hurt yourself. In the office, me, Thornton, and Minister Gardner, we were talking earlier in my office, and we got on the subject of suicide. And now I see why. Because God was letting me know that sometimes it's a spiritual suicide. See, you can forge a weapon against yourself and kill yourself spiritually. It's not always the devil who's trying to kill you. Sometimes you are killing yourself. God is saying that you belong to me. No weapon forged against you shall prosper. What you gotta do is stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying to yourself. That's how you get delivered. Stop lying to yourself. When you admit the fact that you have done wrong, God can forgive you. You admit the fact that you haven't always been right. When you admit the fact that if I do wrong now, I still have to repent for my sin. Even after salvation, if I find myself in wrong, I still have to ask God to forgive my wrong. Don't wallow in your wrongdoing and think that it's okay. It is not okay. And sometimes when God brings something against you, you saying, no weapon shall prosper. When God is saying, this right here is not from the enemy. And what I do, it will prosper. The weapons from your enemy won't prosper. But the weapon from God, it will prosper. If God comes against your enemies, they will fall. There's nothing that can stand itself against the God I serve. Nothing can go against the God I serve. The devil tried to do it in heaven. He said, I will exalt myself above God. I will exalt myself. And he secretly went around trying to take over heaven. And guess what? God knew the whole time. Listen, I'm trying to tell you. God knew the whole time. And guess what? He didn't do a thing. Not yet. He knew where the enemy was. And he let the enemy go all around doing what he was going to do. And the reason God did it is because when God was going to come against it, he was coming against it all at one time. Not in spurts. See, on your job, your boss find out you coming against them. If they have the power to do so, they'll get rid of you. But there's another person who the other person was talking to. And they'll still be trying to come against you. The boss. Then the boss has another person to deal with. Then, they let somebody else go. But see, God is like this. God says, I see every one of the enemies. I know who every one of the enemies are. And I'm going to stand back. And I'm going to watch them. And once they gather themselves together, I'm going to throw them all out with one swoop. Michael, get rid of it. Michael says, in the name of the Lord, I rebuke you, Satan. And Satan fell from heaven like lightning and grabbed a third of the angels with him. And it looked like a dragon's tail. It went out so fast. That's how God is. Then God even works how he even showed up in the man of Jesus Christ. Judas was on the team. Jesus knew who Judas was. And he didn't do anything to Judas the whole time. He allowed Judas to work the whole time. And then, when Judas' time came, he said, go do what you got to do. And Judas ended up hanging himself. Because that's how God is. He allowed the enemy so that he can let the enemy do what it's supposed to do, but it will not win. And sometimes people expect me to do certain things in the church, expect me to move a certain way and to do things a certain way, not understanding that God has already showed me who's who and who's doing what. And I'll still love you, I'll still hug you, and I'll still have a real fondness with you. Because I already know, just as God did it with Satan, and just as God did it with Judas, God will deal with you too. The weapon already failed. It already failed. instructor, every once in a while, weapons will be loaded. The people will be pointing the weapons downrange at the target. And the bullets will do the chemical reaction. The primer, the firing pin will strike the primer. The primer will ignite the propellant or the powder, causing the bullet to fly out of the casing. But every now and then, the primer don't work. The weapon shoots, but there's no bang. They have to eject that round and then continue to fire.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's how God operates. There are some people who got weapons pointed at you. And they can't understand that no matter how many times they pull at the trigger, while the round just won't go off. They keep ejecting it and putting another round in the chamber. And the round just won't work. They do it again. And the round just won't work. It won't work because God has said in His Word that no weapon forged against you shall prosper. And every lie that has come up against you, you will be able to condemn it on a legal surface, and it will not hurt you, because I am the Lord and I reign above all. God is a mighty God. But faith. Some of you know that there's been weapons that came against you. You're still here. You're here because God has His hands on you. He got His hands on you. He's got you covered. So every time you move, if you're unsure, you know the Lord is with you. He said, cover me while I move. God will cover you while you move. And though the fiery darts are coming against you, you got your armor on. All of it. I said all of it. Your helmet, your breastplate, you got your girdle on, you got your shawls on, your leg protectors, you got your shoes on, you got your shield of faith, you got your sword. You have all the pieces for the battle. Weapons are forged. It failed. If you're glad that the weapon that was forged against you failed, then you should give God some praise. Weapon to get you, to get me, but it already failed. Won't work. All I gotta do is stay hidden behind Christ, hide behind the mountain where the chilly winds weakness.